Hello, fabulous friends, fans, and superstars. Welcome to our full moon party. We are celebrating the full moon in Virgo, and we're doing something very special today, which is we are going to spend part of the time with my very loving aunt. The big reason, a huge reason why I am who I am. I know what I do. So much of her wisdom shows up in my videos all the time. And it's just such a joy now to share with you this incredible person. My Aunt Shireen Khan, welcome. Shireen, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Of course, I'm so happy that you're here. I have been, for lack of a more eloquent way to put it, kicking Shireen's butt to share for years. I am so proud of her. She's just getting started now, sharing more fully, more honestly about herself. And so just very quickly, let me see here if I could just share the screen. This is her website. Shireen Khan Shine, helping you shine through your crossroads. ShireenKhanShine.com is the website. And here you can learn about her educational background, her Ayurvedic background. Right now, her services are at rock bottom prices because this is a brand new site, because she's just starting in the online world in a brand new way. So she's got these huge discounted rates at the moment. And you can check that out, whether it's Ayurvedic, whether it's mind, life coaching, and so much more. So I'm really very, very glad that she's here. So what can you say? How can people understand grief and loss and move through times of grief and loss?
I think first thing is to know that it's okay to be sad, and they're in a better place if they were in pain. And everyone has their own journey. So we may think they're our parents, but as in a bigger picture, they are doing their own thing. They have to do their own thing, and they have to travel in their own time. The best part is to be celebrating their transition rather than crying, because they really, if they were to come down, they would tell you, don't cry. I'm so much happy right now than I was on earth, because the spirit just moves on. And just honor your feeling. If you want to share it, be vulnerable in sharing your pain with other people. Everyone understands. Love is, this is like, we want love when somebody passes away, and it's okay to ask for it. It's a beautiful thing to ask for it. And just be there, be bright for the person who's gone, and be bright for the people who are who are sad with you. So somebody has to be stronger, and you gotta be stronger for everyone else because you understand. I would say just honor your feelings and flow with it, and just like ask them to come and like be in your dream or love you in your dream, or if there's anything you feel you didn't have a chance to say, just know that you can say it and they can hear you. I truly believe that.
I know, and I remember how many dreams you used to have of your dad. Do you still have dreams of your father?
Sometimes now, because my mom passed away, I have more like a nurturing dream from my mom. When I need her, she always comes. Sometimes it's not even a dream. Like I'd be just like lying down, and I would feel like she wants me to think it's a dream, but she comes and hugs me and just tells me everything is going to be fine. And it's beautiful. And I'm not even scared. I feel like alive with her. So I
Yeah.
want him to feel like that the father is still alive and he is with us, you know?
And so what do you think of, like, a few things come to mind. I know how much we used to talk about reincarnation. We used to love talking about
Yeah.
reincarnation, and we used to love channeling our past lives and seeing our past lives in each other. Like, that was one of the more powerful experiences I remember having, that like, oh my God, yes, like we have been so many different people, places, things, situations, like we've experienced it all. We hold all this wisdom in our spirit. So what part does that understanding play, do you think, in handling grief and loss? Where are you now? Because I imagine your journey has evolved in understanding that.
Yeah. I feel like past lives are more passing on genes through blood. So we have memory of, let's say, our great grandfather, and we think it's us. but because it goes through our blood system and consciousness, we think it's us. Yeah, it is us, a part of it, like maybe a small part that we remember about what happened, but it's sometimes I feel it's not us because because how could be it's just us because we're always evolving. So like the part of that great grandfather is a memory, and the most of the memory is in the body rather than the brain, because we have a new brain every time, I feel like new brain cells, but the body never forgets. So sometimes like you see somebody, they'll say, oh my god, you look like your great your eyes are just like your great grandfather, and you just know that it's the body memory that formed the eyes. It's not the memory in the head that had it. So it's a big thing to talk about body memory because we remember so much, because just we understand so many things in life from our brain and justify, but our body is like, no, it wants to do its own thing. It wants to have its own emotions. It wants to like cry. And we're like, why are you crying? But
Yeah.
it's the body. So it's a lot to do. And sometimes, remember, we used to talk about that it's us that are resolving our like mom's issue or great parents' issue that they didn't resolve. And it's
Like
us
the
resolving.
karmic issues, the karmic pain we carry when we heal ourselves. And healing happens not just on a level of mind, of course, it's spiritual healing, it's physical healing. When we heal the spirit and body infused, we actually heal our ancestors. I remember learning that from you. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing is progression. We want to go towards evolving and progression for the better, and understand what is our feeling, what we want, and what our body wants or what it wants to do. Everything is so habitual.
Mm.
So, like our thoughts are habitual. Like if you really think every day, if you're aware of what you're thinking, you'll see you're thinking the same thing again. Like there's 5 things you think all
Yes.
day.
Yeah, it's so true. Our thoughts are our habits, very powerful habits. Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole thing is to rewire yourself and not think about the same thing. It starts with awareness, of course. You
Mhm.
have to be aware all the time what you're thinking, and then it becomes a habit, and your habit makes you do better and new things all the time.
Yeah.
So it's up to you. Yeah.
Okay, so before we move on from reincarnation, though, I do want to ask you something about that because I remember both of us having memories and talking about how strongly connected we each in our own journeys feel to Ireland, for example, right? I know that you have a very strong connection to Ireland. And when I went to Ireland, I've been there
Oh my
twice
God.
now. Yeah, I feel like such a strong karmic connection. Like I feel like my soul knows that land. That's just one example, but I can feel that. I feel that with Mexico for sure, without a doubt. I feel like I remember like arriving and being like, I'm home. For the first time, I really felt at home. So, how do you explain that? What do you think about that? Is that not karmic? Is that not something connected to reincarnation or something? What do you think?
Like it happened to me. Strangest thing happened to me when I went to Italy,
Oh,
and
yes, I remember. Yeah.
yeah, like I was walking in like they have small alleys and like little places, and I felt like I knew every single place, and I ended up going to this little museum, and in that room, before I stepped into that room, I knew what happened to me there, and I saw that I gave birth in that little place, and I saw that there was a sink and there was a bed, and I thought, oh no, this can't be. And but when I went to that room, I saw exactly what I had seen before. So I just think that it could be a memory from my ancestor that was so strong that I'm still carrying it, and I had to see it.
Looking at Shireen's expertise, a question about acupressure. Is that effective for joint pain? I'm suffering from arthritis, joint pain, along with carpal tunnel syndrome since last March 2020, right after Saturn entered into Aquarius. So that's the astrology of it. I'm Aquarius moon and Sag sun ascended. So it's so interesting. because Kakali is Aquarius moon, Sag sun ascendant. Shireen is Sag sun, Aquarius ascendant. I am Aquarius sun, Sag moon.
Oh my
And then
God.
it's all this Sag Aquarian energy, right? Awesome. So yes, what can you, because you do work with the body as well, and you've studied like so many different modalities where it comes to healing, physical, spiritual healing. So what can you say about acupressure or things like that? What can you suggest?
So acupressure and acupuncture really work really well for the joint pain because it's all about circulation.
Mm.
So acupressure, acupuncture, it circulates and it goes through your bloodstream, gets faster, and acupressure actually opens up your meridians. Like so, it's running. Everything is start to rejuvenate. They start to run, and also you have to do your part too, where you going to maybe go to the like do stretches at home. Make sure you do stretches. Make sure you are moving around. Make sure you're doing some kind of resistance training a little bit. So that also helps with joint pains. But acupressure, yes. The answer is yes. Acupressure, acupuncture, it all works really well with the joint pain and body pain. Like, so what happens is like there are connecting points in the body. So one of the points, let's say that my arm is connected to, of course, my elbow, and then there will be connecting point right here that's blocked. So when you do acupuncture, acupressure, it would shoot the blood in and will go through the tube to meet your elbow where the pain is. So it really does. It takes a little time because it's natural, but it does work. And if it just started, you should definitely go for it because you can. It's not like it's been there for 20 years. It's nothing like that. So it's new. It can definitely work. Yes.
Yeah. And of course, like we can't give medical advice and stuff. I have to say that. But
Yes.
this is you can think of it as another layer, as supplementary. And I'm just now looking at and looking for the email that we had gotten in advance. And I know that it's here. Here we go. So let me pose this question. It's anonymous. Um, I lost my trust in my spouse for reasons that we are both trying to build back our marital relationship and a stronger bond than before. It's hard for me to rebuild the trust that I have lost, causing a mental distress that I'm not able to cope with. But I don't want to give up yet. Could you guide me as to what I should do and how we should proceed from here? So, just to give a little bit of more insight from what I recall, from what I understand, her husband had, and she caught her husband having an emotional affair a couple of months ago. So basically, that's what it was. It was like online or by phone. There wasn't physical contact, but it did feel like a betrayal to her.
Of course.
And so, how would you answer that? What can you say about that?
Yeah, I would like to know what was the relationship prior to this? Was there like physical connection, mental connection, spiritual growth together? Like things like that don't happen just all of a sudden. So we gotta figure out what was going on before this took place. And also, because she wants to give it a try, so I'm just gonna go over quickly because I would have to probably speak with her to know more uh, insight and background of how it all took place. So first of all, we need to know the dynamics before this took place, and also because she wants to give it a chance, I would suggest to give it a time frame. So let's say she says, okay, um, she's hurting right now, of course, and I'm sure he's hurting too because things like that happen. We don't realize and we just go into it because everybody wants attention. So, and through COVID, it's like a lot of people got together in the same house. They can't leave the house. The wife has the same dynamics. It's like the husband is doing the same thing. We kind of get bored of each other rather than enjoying each other. So we want attention from outside. And I would not say it's too emotional, probably affair. It's more attention seeking affair. If we put words to it, like emotional attachment, it hurts so much. So I would just say that it would be attention seeking affair. So she would have to give it a time frame. For example, she'll just do 6 months. Just say, okay, in my life of 6 months in this relationship, I'm going to do certain things. So if it's not in 2 months, if things are start to evolve and grow, then yeah, give it 2 more months. But if nothing is moving, there's no evolution, there's no um, help, there's no communication going, things are not working out, and the pain is increasing, then obviously, then the person, she would have to decide either or. Relationship is like addiction. So if when you quit smoking, you keep on, you have to try 50 times before you actually quit. And so we have to decide, are we going to keep on hurting, or we're just going to hurt once, or we're going to hurt all our lifetimes? So she would have to decide that. Now, the thing is, how is she going to, what is she going to have to do to make this relationship better? So give it a 6 month. Now, first of all, she would have to be like form a stronger bond and open communication. Communication is so important. And first of all, don't blame herself that because she didn't do something and he had to go and get it. It's nothing like that. It's not about you. You can be Mother Teresa, or but that person is going to do what they're going to do because it's inside of them what's going on, what they need. So these whole things, I would just keep thinking that it's a progression. If the growth is not happening, then drop it. If the growth is taking place, then continue working on it. Another thing I would say is every day do something for each other. Like I tell my clients that tell each other every night 5 things that you love about that person. So it could be just like, oh, I love your eyes, or oh, when you're watching television, I really like when you smile or you laugh crazy, like things like that. So tell each other 5 things every night. That helps you bond, continuously bond.
And the thing is, though, but you need to have somebody who's willing to do that work with you, right?
Yes,
So you
yeah.
have to see if the willingness is there. Because if the willingness is there, then this moment can serve as a really good thing, like a turning point where the two of you start to develop habits that nurture the relationship that the two of you share. But if not, if you don't start to actively, both of you, develop those habits, then you haven't really addressed the need that led to that behavior. Because there was, like you said, Shireen, it's like attention getting, like we want that validation, we want that attention. And some people find it in different ways. And so her husband found it in the way that he did. So how is that now going to be addressed? That's going to
Yeah.
be addressed by him being willing to go to his wife, and also the wife being willing to do the work together so that they both feel that they have each other's attention more.
I think it's a great opportunity to let go of the past and grow together again. Because sometimes when we're living our life for so many years with the same person, same dynamics keep on building, and we never get a chance to grow differently together. So this is a great opportunity to be new you, to be new you in a relationship, in a marriage, to grow again together and to find each other again. We seem to get lost within ourselves in each other and take each other for granted. This
Yeah.
is great. I think this is great that she can give what he wants. So it's not only that he has to ask her that what she wants, because as women, we assume that he should know. He doesn't know. We have to tell. We have to connect soul to soul when this thing happened, what happened with her. So I would take it as a great opportunity, not hurt as much, not go into the rabbit hole, be like come out of your shell, both of you communicate and complement each other with everything you got. And again, if it doesn't grow, it doesn't go anywhere, then you really got to decide yeah or nay. That's it.
Let me just get to a couple of quick questions here. So Jen asked a great question. She said, I'm a Cancer female and I just started dating a Virgo male. We were doing really well, but the Virgo male started to pull back a little, trying to figure out what's going on with him. So first of all, just astrologically, before Shireen gives her perspective, I will say that right now is a Virgo full moon. And so and it's trine Uranus. It's all about clarity and openness and honesty and everything being out in the open, especially with this Virgo male. So at the very least, you'll figure it out, not figure it out, you'll know. At the very least, in some way, you should get a message that you know what's happening with him and where his head's at. Now, for Shireen, what do? If you started dating somebody and you thought things were going really well, things were moving along, and then you start feeling like this person's pulling back, and you're like, what's going on? How do I figure this out? What do you do in that type of situation?
Because the relationship is just starting, I would surrender. I would just surrender and submit and relax.
What do you
I,
mean by submit? Because that is a very fraught word. What do you mean by submit?
so so when we think of surrender, we just think like, okay, let it be, let it be. But to commit yourself and submit to surrender, that is a whole trusting thing. You got to trust the flow of your life.
To surrender and submit to a higher wisdom, to know that you're being guided, that is what ultimately you are surrendering to, submitting to, including in love, including in every area of life. Yeah.
Yes. So there's two things. There's intellect. Intellect is only like our own wisdom, like that we learn from life. It's our frame of reference. And intelligence is something that goes through us. It's not ours. It comes through us, and it's a higher intelligence. So she should connect with that. And also, she should go inside and see that why is this happening, and how it started, and what kind of part I'm playing in there.
And so what do you mean by that? When you say why, you mean step back and look at, why am I having this experience right now? Why am I having this emotion right now, right?
Yes, that too. And also learn to go inside yourself and say, what is it? Like when first, for example, when I did that in one of my relationships, same thing was, it happened. And I went inside and I thought, okay, you know what? I don't trust that I can carry this relationship. And because this guy has so much more money than I do, so much this and so much that, and how can I deserve it? I don't deserve it. And sometimes we sabotage. So by going inside, we can really see like who we are, and we have to face, because relationships are there for us to face our own demons.
Yeah.
To become who we are, take our power back, like to know oneself. That's why the relationship. So if there's like the boat is rocky, it's not all his fault why he's like pulling away. Some relationships are like that, like come here, go away, come here, go away. So also got to figure out, does he have that kind of issues where he's also scared and you're not, and he's like, when he feels great, he's moody perhaps, he's like, come here, and when he's in a bad mood, he's like, go away. So we got to figure it out too. And it's got to figure it out in the start, basically.
And also remember, like, we have no control over other people. I really believe that. We have no control. He is making all kinds of choices and decisions that have nothing to do with you, that have to do with his life and his experiences and how he interpreted them and all the things that have brought him to this moment in his life. And so the sense of surrender, like that's what it means to surrender. It means to turn it over, to know that you don't control this person. Whatever he needs to do, fine, but you're going to do what you need to do to learn what you need and to align yourself and to move yourself towards love. And I can personally say that there's nothing as powerful as knowing you have options. Like that is a very powerful thing. However you need to know that, whatever that involves, to know that you have options, and there are all kinds of ways to know that, it changes your energy, it shifts your energy. And I think that that's an important part of it as well.
Well, choices will set you free. It's because it's the truth. The truth. Once you realize that you have choices, you're happy. You're not counting on that one person. You're counting on yourself. Like you got your back, not him or her.
Yeah. Keep the focus on you, I would say, Jen. Like try to keep the focus on you and enjoy your life, whatever that involves. So I hope
when you're honest with yourself, nothing can hurt you. Nothing can hurt you.
What do you mean by that?
When you're honest, okay, let's say I'm in a relationship and I just keep on thinking, why this guy doing it? But I have to be honest with myself. That is bothering me. That's not me, who I'm becoming. Why
Mm.
am I in this relationship? How did I become that? How could I not respect myself? But
Yeah.
once we come back and honestly start to respect ourselves and go through the choices that we have, and uh, and follow our own journey, so we prove ourselves that we can do it. So that creates respect. So once we keep prove it once, we're not going to stop. We're just going to keep improving to ourselves that we're better, we're doing better, we're honest. The world starts to just open up, and you attract exactly the person that you want, because you are becoming you. Would you date yourself? Like, I ask my clients, would you date yourself? Would you take yourself out? And
Mm.
most of them like, that's a question I didn't think of. If you could take yourself out and you love yourself, that's the time that you will find the right person.
Whatever that is for you, Jen, I hope that you find it and it'll be uniquely your own. But if you have it, celebrate it, dive into it, whatever it is that gives you yourself.
He has to find an anchor. We all need an anchor. So when we have that, we can take it and grow with it and have a sense of our own self. So no matter whatever happened around us, it's like, yeah, it's affect us, but at the same time makes us stronger and makes us believe in ourselves, because we got that one thing that's so powerful that we're not going to leave it.
Shireen, maybe you can answer Simone's question here. She says, I was born singing, but I had a few years of a lot of heartache and trauma. Two notable things were the death of my father and my 15-year-old cousin, who was like a little sister to me. Now I feel like my voice has receded somewhere deep inside of me where I am unable to access it and to feel that level of sublime I felt when I really sang. I believe that I feel a sort of reacquaintance coming, but I was wondering if you could offer some words around that.
So we have to unblock her trauma, because she's unfair to herself, because she's denying her gift because of what happened. Now she has to go back and get that gift that's like a pearl in her shell. She needs to go back and get it. Now, how she's going to get it, she has to decide. I would say really go over the trauma and not hide anything how she feels. Just open it and be ready. She has to plan to be ready to sing. She's coming. I'm so glad she asked that question, because she's ready to come out, obviously, because that's her first step. So she has to unblock all this like trauma and accept it that it happened. It was their journey. It happened. Of course, it hurts us, but it's time to let go, because it's time to let go of them too, so they can also let her sing. So
Yeah, her singing is almost like celebrating and honoring them. Um, yeah, that would bring like that spirit joy. But okay, so when you say releasing trauma, what can you suggest? Meditation?
she can
How do you do
actually
that?
she can actually imagine that she's talking to those people and
Mm.
have a communication, and then just start singing for them. Think that they're sitting there and slowly start singing for them. When she starts singing for them, she's just going to shine. She's just going to open up, and it will give her confidence, because singing for them will bring her back to her own self. I
Yeah,
was,
if you feel called to it, then that is the pathway for you. And I would incorporate that in your whatever your practices are, like your spiritual practices or whatever, including your meditations. Yeah, it can be very powerful.
he has to think that it's unfair to the world that she's not singing for them. It's
Yeah,
unfair.
yeah, it is. It's like, you know how many times I've had to, I like to think of it as getting out of the way. Like so many times my ego, my sense of self-importance or whatever, I have literally had to put it aside and say, no, Nadiya, get out of the way because I have something to do. I have to give people hope. I know that there are people who watch me and listen to me who are going to need a message. So let me get myself out of the way. And I've been doing YouTube for what, 12, 13 years now. And people have seen me go on a journey. You've seen me, Shireen, go on a journey
Yes.
where I've had times where I was very depressed, times where I was not feeling well physically, not feeling well emotionally. My spirit would feel heavy. And yet I would have to get out of the way and just because I knew that it was for others. It was for others in terms of who it was going to help. It was for my ancestors. It was to honor my ancestors, that I was going to use my voice through astrology to give people hope, to affirm sacred truths and wisdoms in the world. So whatever your thing is, Simone, like whatever reason you have for doing it, that is what you want to connect to more deeply. So to me, there are so many things I can mention, so many things I can say why I do what I do. It honors the women, it honors my grandmother, it honors my ancestors, it evolves the message of my ancestors, but then it's also for the future. It's also for my descendants. It's also so that my name is going to mean something in history. Like that really matters to me. That's why I write books. Whatever your thing is, you find it. Sit with yourself, meditate, connect with it, talk to these people who meant so much to you and connect with them. See what that message could be. I love you. I love you, Shireen. I love you so much.
I love you so much, and thank you so much for sharing me with your superstars.
You're
And
a
with
star,
Simone,
darling. You're a
with
star,
Simone,
darling.
with Simone, I just want to tell her that this is her gift and that's her anchor, and she has to share it. That's all she has to think. That's all. And everyone, you just be like, stay positive and meditate for sure in the morning. Whenever you get a chance, even 5 minutes, go inside, go in the quiet place, and there's treasures there. There's
Yeah,
treasures in there. You got
yeah,
to find your treasure.
you're amazing. Thank
Okay.
you for
All
always
right.
making time for me. I hope that you guys saw how clear it is, how much of what I share comes from Shireen. I love you so much. I'm
I
so
love you. Okay.